Other interesting business news, you have Denny's closing down dozens of more restaurants, and their stock isn't looking great. Now, this is America, so you have to have that caveat. Not financial advice, which, yeah, hindsight's always 2020 when it comes to investing. So many stocks I wish I could have bought all those years ago. Nevertheless, they're not doing great right now. This comes to us thanks to CNN Business, which somehow still in business. Pretty surprised. They probably have about 18 employees left. So before we dive into the article, I thought it'd be interesting to let's look at their stock ticker. I guess it's doing better than Black Rifle Coffee stock. That's not saying much though. It's actually cheaper to buy one share of Black Rifle Coffee than it is to buy a coffee. Yeah, it really is under $3. I can't believe it's still there. Now, again, Denny's is about $5.04. So you can actually buy a piece of Denny's cheaper than a meal at Denny's, which I don't know, to me I find comical. I mean, their 5-year trend is ouch, down 75%. In the past year, there's almost 50% off discount, down 45, no, not 46%. It's crashing right before our eyes. I mean, year to date, Jesus, it's down 19.54%. 6 months, yeah, down 10%. So things aren't doing great at Denny's, and they're going to have to close some more restaurants apparently. Now, specifically, this article is credited to Jordan Vlinsky, who's a writer at CNN Business. They say, quote, Denny's is closing dozens more restaurants. And there you can see the iconic Denny's logo, which they say, quote, Denny's is closing about 30 more restaurants than previously announced as part of the struggling diner chain's plan to jumpstart growth. The additional closures come after Denny's announced last year it was shutting down the doors at more than 150 locations. In an earnings release last Wednesday, the company revealed it closed 88 locations last year and will shutter between 70 and 90 locations in 2025, bringing the figure closer to about 180 locations. The specific list of locations were immediately revealed. However, Denny said some of the diners closing were selected because they have expiring leases, but have been there for more than 30 years, or making them too expensive to remodel, or in areas that have been unprofitable. Looking at you, California and Illinois. Now, Denny's CFO, Robert Virosek, says, quote, in any mature brand, when restaurants have been open that long, it's natural that trade areas can shift over time. Acceleration, the closure of low-volume restaurants will improve franchisee cash flow and allow them to reinvest in traffic-driven initiatives like our tested and proven remodel program, unquote. They also know that remodeled restaurants did indeed see a 6.5% increase in traffic over the year, which that's a pretty good bump. Also, pretty expensive to do remodeling. However, the company renovated only 23 locations in 2024, which, yeah, is probably one of the few things of value I learned in college was business statistics. And our professor would always emphasize, know your sample size, which, yeah, 6.5% increase. That sounds good. The sample size is 23 locations, which that is pretty, that is, I would take that with not a grain of salt. I would take that with half a Denny's plate of salt in terms of, and that's very small anecdotal evidence or very small sample size. Even smaller when you consider that's part of their 1,300 locations. They say that Denny's has struggled in recent years because of inflation and rising food cost. In sales in January and February, nosedives following a strong end of 2024 because of, quote, consumer uncertainty that we are seeing in the moment. They say that new inflation report shows that consumer prices rose 0.5% from December to last month, bringing the annual inflation rate to 3% for the 12 months that ended in January. They say it's causing a lot of volatility in February for Denny's, according to Virosek, the CFO. And it has resulted in the company releasing, quote, ultra conservative guidance for this following year. Geez Louise. Yeah, and they noted how the shares are down 50% from a year prior, which, yeah, that's not great. Now, a couple of people in the comment section are noting the price of eggs being the variable, which, yeah, you're seeing a short term. We're seeing a big egg spike in terms of cost of goods in the United States at the moment. Someone said, what's happening here is Denny's running out of cheese. They could start restructuring. They could start restricting and putting cheese on everything. I stopped going when they started putting cheese in my coffee, which obviously they never did that. Or I don't think that's part of their standard business practice. I mean, another thing is, yeah, I mean, just eating out, to me, eating out has just lost all value. I mean, they know cost. I think that's the big elephant in the room. And it really is. I mean, this isn't, I don't expect this to necessarily to be as cheap as like McDonald's was back in the day, but it's just like, it's a sit down restaurant. Just, you're paying a little bit more than for that. But like when I have friends who go out to eat with their families, they tell me like what the bills are these days. And it's just completely unsustainable. I can't imagine doing that. So I'm not too surprised they're closing down more locations, and it's rough. Hopefully, people who are losing their jobs are able to find gainful employment at a competitor. And I mean, I really don't see them turning things around anytime soon. Again, not financial advice, but what's a compelling reason for me to go to Denny's? I can get Walmart egg whites for like, was it about $4.75 per jug? I forget how many ounces are in that silly thing, but nevertheless, it's just so expensive to eat out these days. People always say, "Oh, yeah, it's convenient." Well, shoot, I can microwave my egg whites in under 3 minutes, and I can add salt that takes about 18 seconds, and that's dinner or breakfast. It's like, why spend, 15, 20, 30, $40 going to Denny's? Free coffee refill? I don't know about that. Coffee's about 18 cents if you make it at home. So if all the compelling business use cases that are out there, I just don't see one right now to go to Denny's. Well, at least personally, but let me know, when's the last time you actually went to a Denny's, and do you think price is the main reason why people are decreasing their rate of dining out? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Again, the first Q&A live stream is going to be February 22nd, 6 p.m. Texas time, or some people call it Central Time. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.